everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're not. So for today's video I'm going to be trying out these liquid glitters from Penneys or Primark if you're in the UK. And I recently did a video where I bought the Stila glitter and glow liquid glitters as well as the Pixi version, and I did a comparison of the two. So I linked that up in the card if you haven't seen that, if you want to check that out. And then just recently I saw some pictures on Instagram of people trying this one from Penneys, so I said I'd pick that up and give this one a go. So just before we jump into it, just to remind you that all my links for my social media are down below in the description box, so if you'd like to find me anywhere else you can. And if you find this video useful or helpful at any stage, please do give the video a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like this kind of content, and it also helps out my channel an awful lot. And of course, if you'd like to see more videos from me, you can subscribe to my channel for free if you want to. So with all of that said, let's jump into the video. So these are the liquid glitter eyeshadows from the PS range in Penneys or Primark, and they come in 4 shades. So there's copper, which is like kind of a rose gold, a pinky copper really. Black ice, which is a black with silver glitter. Iced, which is more of a silver with slightly holographic glitter, I think. So I will swatch all of these, and these retail for €4 each. So I'm just gonna open them all up. I probably should have done this before I turned on the camera. Okay, so I finally have the package off. So this is what the packaging looks like, if it will focus. So very similar obviously to the Stila one. You can see they definitely took their inspiration from that. The top of this one is textured. The top of the Stila one is just smooth gold. Not that that makes much of a difference. No, I'm just interested to see how much product is in here. 4.5 mils in these Penneys ones and 4.5 mils in the Stila. Okay, so the same amount in the Stila ones. The Pixi one has just half a gram or half a mil more in these longer Pixi ones. Okay, so let's swatch these. Okay, so I've just turned the lighting down a little bit so you can see it a bit better. So we have black ice, copper, iced and glitz. So that is what they look like. Iced, which is the silvery one, has more of a clear base with silver kind of holographically glitter. There's not much of a colour to the base. So I'm just going to do a swatch of the Stila and the Pixi ones just to remind myself and to kind of do a comparison. Yeah, the Penneys ones, they did seem to be a little bit kind of chunkier, and I think it was just a quick swatch. I haven't tried anything on my eyes yet. And I think a little bit chunkier than the Pixi one. That was something that I noticed of the Pixi versus the Stila, that the Stila was just a little bit smoother and more kind of, felt just more liquidy, and that the glitter pieces were smaller and just part of the whole liquid. Whereas I could feel the glitter that bit more in the Pixi one, and I think I can feel it a little bit more in the Penneys ones. It's just a little bit less refined. They do seem to be setting, which is good. And I think, just looking closer, I think the bases of both the Stila and the Pixi have more pigment to them. The bases in the Penneys ones just seem to be a little bit thinner, whereas the Stila and the Pixi ones are that bit more solid. So I'll show you a close-up of that now. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but this is Stila in Kitten and this is the Pixi one in Bare Brilliance. And they're just that little bit more solid. You can see in the base of them. And the feeling of them as they went on is just that bit more creamier. So in my Stila and Pixi comparison video, I did one on each eye, and because I picked up similar colours for that reason. But in the Penneys range, there isn't any that's the same kind of colour as either the Stila or the Pixi one, which are kind of browny beigey. The Stila one is a little bit more pinky, but the copper of the Penneys one is very, very pink. So I think I'm just going to pick one and apply it to both eyes. So I'm going to go with the gold to go with this kind of warm look that I have, or that I've started on. And I'll apply it in the same way I did with the other ones. So I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see a little bit better. So I have the gold one here in Glitz, and I'm first going to apply it straight from the wand. And I'm going to basically cover this whole cut crease area. And because I've done this cut crease and it comes up above my natural lid, that kind of helps stop any transfer of glitter onto the crease. So if you have hooded lids or slightly hooded lids like I do, where the fleshy part of your brow bone falls down over your lid, you might find that sometimes when you're wearing glitter or wearing shimmers, they start transferring up into that area above where you want to. So doing it in a cut crease fashion will kind of stop that because it's already up there, if that makes sense. Okay, so that went on nicely. I can slightly notice that difference of the base being a little bit thinner and a little bit more translucent. I might have preferred if I had like a light gold shadow underneath to give it more of a base. But it doesn't look bad on its own at all. It looks really nice. So I'm just making sure it's going right up to the edge here, and I'm also going to fade out the edge over here. So that looks super pretty, really easy to apply. And I'll do the same on the other side. So as you can see, both really pretty. That was really quick and easy. And now I'm going to pop some liquid liner on, and that'll be a slight test as well, just to see how liner goes on over it. So I'm going to be using this liner from Note. It's their Ultra Black eyeliner. It's just a standard liquid liner. And this is the same one I used in my Stila Pixi comparison. And by the way, if you can hear some noise in the background, my dog is now out here with me. So you might hear his little pitter patter on the floor. So that went on okay, and it wasn't the easiest, and it's still jaggedy along the top, where I think because it's the chunkiness of the glitter, so that it's like working with a loose glitter. If you've ever put liquid liner over loose glitter, it's just really annoying. So with this, what you might be better off doing is doing what I like to do with loose glitter, in that putting on the liner first, putting on the glitter so that you know roughly where to avoid, and then you're basically just going back in and touching up the top line if you got any glitter over the top or anything, so that you're not putting a thick line of liquid liner over a bunch of glitter. Do you know what? I think this liner also isn't the easiest. It's drying in a weird way, so that it's hard to go over it. Okay, so they're not even and they're not perfectly smooth either, but I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. So now I'm just going to curl my lashes and pop on some mascara. As I did with the last one, I'm going to avoid lashes so that we can properly see what's going on with the glitter on the shadow. Okay, so this is our starting point. Looking good. Okay, so I am filming this in the evening. It's already nearly 5 o'clock. So I'm not going to get like a full day wear out of this. I was hoping to do that, but I was filming earlier and it was a complete fail. It took way longer than I thought. So I'm just going to be wearing this for the rest of the night as long as I can. And then I will do a check back to see how it is worn, if it flaked everywhere, if it stayed exactly where it is. But I do have a client shortly, so I will have to take down like my backdrop and stuff. I might put it back up to film the outro and the ending, but I might not because I have more clients in the morning. So just if it looks different when I come back, that's why. So yeah, I shall see you later. Look at the state of my face. Look at that for fucking oil. Hey, so I'm back. As you can see, I didn't put the backdrop back up. So I apologize, you can see the lights and stuff in the mirror. But it is 10 o'clock at night, so it has been 5 hours of wear. So I thought I would zoom you in and give you a look. So I think there's been very little movement. It hasn't traveled around. Now, as I said, having the cut crease does eliminate some of that. But there are 1 or 2 specks on this side I can see traveled just above that line. And I don't see any specks underneath my eye that flaked off. So I'm really impressed with the wear of it, so far from this first impressions anyway. I'm also really impressed with the effect of it. It looks really good and it was easy to apply, just like the other 2 that I tested. I will say that I can feel it though, like I would feel a loose glitter on my eye, especially coated over a large area like this. I think the other 2 I tested, I said that I couldn't feel anything, whereas this I was ready to take off about an hour ago because, well, it's nighttime and I wanted to just take off my makeup, but I could also feel that I had glitter on my eyelids. So that's just something worth noting that I think comes with the slight texture difference of it being just a little bit chunkier, a little bit more like a loose glitter. So overall, I'm very impressed with this product. In comparison to the Stila Glitter and Glow and the Pixi Liquid Fairy Lights, I think that the Stila was a little bit better than the Pixi, and the Pixi is a little bit better than the Penneys. However, I do mean a little bit, and the reason for that is because I thought the Stila was just like a little bit more refined of a formula. It was just that little bit more creamy, and the glitter particles were just a little bit smaller. The Pixi one was very similar, just a little bit chunkier, a little bit more like a loose glitter. And then the Penneys one again was a little bit more again like a loose glitter. However, those two are very similar, I think. That is the Penneys and the Pixi one. And I think the only noticeable difference for me so far anyway is that I could feel the Penneys one more on the eye than I could the Pixi one. But I think they all look equally gorgeous on the eye. They're all equally easy to apply. But when you look at the pricing, there is a huge difference. So the Pixi one retails between like 17 and 20 euro, that kind of way, depending on where you get it. And the Penneys one is 4 euro. And the only real difference here was that I think I could feel this one a little bit more, the Penneys one. And when I say that, I don't mean that it was uncomfortable to wear. It just felt like I was wearing a normal glitter as opposed to a cream eyeshadow. That's about it for the difference of 13 to 16 euro. This is well worth that 4 euro. And then the difference between this and the Stila, the exact same amount. This is between 20 and 28 euro, again depending on where you get it. And this one is just 4 euro, so you're saving between 16 and 24 euro. And the difference being that I have found it's a little bit more like a loose glitter. It feels a little bit more like a loose glitter, but you could be saving like 20 euro basically. The only time I would recommend the Stila over the others for those little differences would be for, well, if you have that money to spend and you're not on a budget, you just want the best one, I would say grab the Stila. Or if you're a makeup artist and you're willing to spend that bit extra just to get it that little bit better in quality. So for me, this one is in my kit. It's what I will use on clients because I do find it that little bit better. But for me personally, I'll be using these Penneys ones and the Pixi one. And I'll be happy to repurchase those as I need them if I go through them at all, because there's seems to be plenty in there anyway. So yeah, that is my first impressions of the Penneys PS Liquid Glitter Eyeshadow. I am impressed, I enjoy them, I will be using them, I would recommend them. So that is it from me for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to take off my makeup finally and curl up and watch some Netflix, I think. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending some of your day with me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.